What is up, RetroManiacs? Welcome to the Retro Card Chat Podcast. My name is Mike, and I am from Mike's Retro Trading Cards. And you know, we don't have a lot of rules here, right? But we do have one rule, and it is the most important rule. The rule you can never forget, that no matter how much these two guys cry, no matter how much they beg, do not feed them after midnight. Of course, they are Joe Day and EP Eric Mahalik. How you doing, guys?
What is that reference
to?
to?
What is that? Gremlins, bro. Gremlins.
Oh, wow.
We're the Mogwais.
I know you're younger, but wow. I did not know you were that much younger. Yeah, Gremlins.
Yeah.
We're still
I just turned 34. So, yeah.
34, you wish. How's it going, boys? Since Joe didn't know the intro, but you know, EP has a Mogwai down there. He kind of looks like a Mogwai.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I like to live my life like a Mogwai, like just like Gizmo. You know?
People below a certain age are watching this, like, huh?
But the people who get it, are like, yeah, man, I'm a Gizmo too.
I'm with you, people of a certain age. I'm with you.
You have to watch Gremlins.
Yeah, you should.
I'm sure I watched it way back in the, because it's an early 80s movie, right?
Yeah, I think like 84, 85-ish, probably mid-80s, probably.
I feel like that's a movie that my mom would have let me watch. I mean, she let me watch it.
She probably shouldn't have. It was a little scary.
There was some stuff that was.
She let me watch it with Tim Curry, so she definitely let me watch the Gremlins.
Okay, yeah.
Wow. Very responsible.
Very responsible. Shout out.
It was the 80s.
Shout out, Sarah. It was the 80s. Shit was crazy.
Different times. Do whatever we wanted.
Right.
Oh, how's it going, boys? Anything new and exciting going on?
The mystery has been solved.
Oh.
The mystery has been solved. But I have to describe what I'm doing right now for the person who sent it to me.
Oh my God, it's great.
Did Jeff Wilson send that to you?
No. Oh, I have to describe
that would have been
it.
A great twist.
Because it's an audio listener.
Oh.
I am holding up the Sports Card Collecting and Investing for Dummies sent to me by friend of the channel, Brent Heintzelman. Wow. You son of a bitch.
Amazing.
Well played, Brent.
Yes, it was really well played because he asked me for my address for something else. And I'm like, oh, you tricksy son of a gun. Because I thought he might have asked you guys for it and then sent it to me. No, I was my own culprit. I was the one who gave him my address to send me something. So yes, he sent me this. Now that Brent sent it to me, though, I might have to read it. You know,
I think you should.
He spent hard-earned. Holy crap! $24.99 they're getting for this garbage. Now I'm gonna have to read it.
I feel like the viewers really need you to read it and do a review because then they don't have to waste their time reading it. Who knows? Maybe you'll learn something.
So I just skipped through a page that said market movers. I'll skip that page. Market movers, everyone. But well, the problem is it would take me about 6 months to read this because I generally fall asleep when I read. So get at me at 6 months. We'll set the clock right now. We're releasing this video on September 23rd, 2024. Give me 6 months. I don't know when that is. Give me 6 months to read this, and I will do a review in 6 months. All right.
Okay.
Please, God, everyone forget I just said that.
It's on video now, bro. Nobody's forgetting. And it's going to be funny after he reads it. He's going to leave the podcast and he's going to start up a channel and call himself Star Trek Investor.
Yeah.
Star Trek Investor. I like that.
STI.
Wait. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that. We'll get a whole different viewership. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, that's hilarious.
Well, I'm glad we finally figured out the mystery. That was well played, Brent.
We wouldn't have figured it out if he didn't tell me. Like, it wasn't like, wait a minute, did you send this to me? Because he alluded to it, and then the light bulb went on. But he had to really allude. Like, it wasn't like a, hey, did you get any good books? It was like really out there. And
Wow.
so I figured it out after he like really prompted me. So
After
yeah,
he basically told you.
Right.
basically
I sent you
told
that
me.
book.
Yeah.
Did you
I'm like,
find
wait a
out
minute,
who
were
sent
you
the
the
book
one?
Wow.
Oh,
Great time. Yeah, we
well
should have a
done,
little
Brent.
competition. We should like throw Joe's address up on the screen here and just let
No, let's
people
not do
send
that.
him random stuff to
Let's
see.
not do that.
It's Panther
what he
27,
gets.
right?
Yeah,
it
just
Panther
again,
27?
it's just
Care
like
of
Santa.
Panther
like I said.
27.
Care of
Yeah.
Panther 27.
It'll get there.
Oh, wow. What's new and exciting with you, EP?
Well, I got a couple things. I've been trying to price some cards. I probably got about 200 or so cards for the upcoming card show this coming weekend at this point, which, I mean, I'm not even, I'm less ready than I was before, but I've been selling a bunch of my slab cards, including the Jackie Robinson SSP from 2022 Topps Chrome, which was a really tough pull. I can't remember what the population was. It was like 3 or something like that. Some crazy PSA. Got a PSA 10 out of it. I was on the channel. Sent it away. Had to send it because it was damaged. It came back, and then I sent it to PSA. Got a 10. Sold that for $245. Felt pretty good about that. Feels like it was a really good price to get that from. I think I got 2 blaster boxes that year, or something like that. So it's one of the pulls from that. So that was a lot of fun. I sold 2 of my Brady rookie cards as well. We graded Brady rookie cards on eBay as well. So I've been selling a lot of stuff. That's a lot of fun. I do have a little short story I want to share with you guys before we get into everything. It's not necessarily not card related at all, but
before you start on that, sure, I do want to talk about the Jackie Robinson. Really
okay,
quick.
go ahead. Yeah,
because you sold that for $245. Anytime one of us has like a sale, like it's like $5 or whatever, we say that's hoodie money right there. I do want to mention it's getting chillier in the morning. If only we had something I could put on to walk through that chill.
Something branded.
Look below, everyone. Something
branded with our
not EP,
below. Yeah,
right.
You can. I mean, if you want to buy me, I mean, I'm probably in the store as well.
You can wear EP. You can wear EP.
It's probably cheaper than the hoodie.
That's fair.
Probably.
That's fair.
Better insulated too.
Definitely.
Hoodies below, everyone.
Yeah, they're hoodies down here. They're hoodies down here.
Glass houses, stones, whatever.
I stopped at my sister's last night. Sorry. Stopped at my sister's last night. My brother-in-law is putting together jalapeno poppers. He's wearing gloves. He's doing all the stuff. He had a banner year for jalapeno poppers. So he's been making poppers pretty much every week forever. Like just for jalapenos. Like,
what does a banner year for jalapeno poppers mean?
I'm sorry, banner year for jalapenos. Sorry, like he got tons and tons of jalapenos.
Okay,
he grew them himself, tons and tons of them. Like they're just. I said, is this all of them? He's like, oh God, no. There's still way more on the vine still. So anyhow, he's doing that, and as we're sitting there talking, he tells my sisters, hey, go get that champagne that I got from Patty, and show it to him. So she goes and gets the box and comes in with us, like the box. We've seen the boxes of alcohol before, the holiday boxes or whatever, and it looks a little bit old, but whatever. And we're sitting there talking. I look down, and she opened up. She's looking at it. I was in the felt in the inside. It says Dom Perignon 1985. I am not an expert on things alcohol. I know that it tastes good and I like it, but other than that, I'm not an expert. So we looked it up, and it's $1,000 bottle of Dom Perignon. Apparently 1985 was a banner year for Dom Perignon, and
banner year for everything.
And so, and he was like, there was one point where he's like, well, I just figured at one point on a Saturday I run out of beer and I just crack it open and have a little bit of it. And if I didn't like it, I just dump it out, not realizing that this was like this like super high end champagne from those years. So he does handiwork, and the woman, the wife of the couple that he works for, just said, I know you like to have a drink for once in a while. Here you go. Handed him a box that she picked up off the floor and handed it to him. And I said, yeah, it's from what I read, it probably lasts like 2030 in the bottle and still be good until 2030. And I was like, dude, you should probably sell that. We can get some other champagne if you want to drink champagne from the local.
A bottle of Corbel Brut is $15. I'm struggling.
right.
I think he should give it to us when we get to 1,500 subscribers, and then we can drink it.
We're not drinking $1,000 bottle of champagne.
I will.
Yeah,
it's not my money.
I totally would too. I actually, when you were saying about 1985, a banner year, I looked up Gremlins was 1984. I was like really hoping Gremlins was 1985 as well. So
we could have wrapped the podcast up right there.
We could have full circle.
Yep.
I will say for my birthday a few years ago, Rob took me to a very nice restaurant, and I had a glass of Dom, right?
Mhm.
One glass. It was a ridiculous amount of money for a glass of anything, but I had one glass, and I'm sipping it, and I'm going, yeah, I'll take a bottle of Corbel Brut. Like like certain things, like they say, taste way better. I've had one and the other. I can't tell the difference. I really can't. So sell it and buy a bottle of Corbel.
That's what I told him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I have a couple things. I was sent these cards. Shout out to Ryan, Big Dog 1422 on X. He watches the program for whatever reason. I don't know. It's entertained by us. But yes, out of the kindness of his heart, look at that. And I was only expecting to get this one. And he sent both. Like, this card is my new favorite card.
Yeah.
That's an amazing card. Yeah.
Yeah.
You need to do that rainbow is what you need to do.
Well, this is in the undercard, so that's how you get the prism.
Okay.
So I don't know. I really don't know enough about undercard other than you get the disco prism in it. I don't know if there are like variations of that or not. So if there are, I will be buying them because
yes,
I wouldn't
for sure.
Yes.
But I had one other thing I want to throw out at you guys. Now, I don't know if you guys have seen, but there was a company that released Eminem cards this week. Slim Shady cards. They come one card that's
I've seen the same thing, Joe.
Like
the green M&M.
No,
the green M&M has cards. What's it called?
Wow, you guys are old. Anyway, you get one encased card per pack. They have foil parallels. They have autographs. Apparently, card purchaser shared that the one autograph sold for $5,500.
Yeah.
I got 5 of these. I don't know whether I should open them and do a video on the channel, which I feel would be pretty popular because not everybody, I'm guessing Jeff Wilson's probably not going to be opening these, but you never know. If he hears that they're popular, he might be. But
for sure.
Or do I just leave them sealed and see where they go after like the influx of everybody getting theirs dries up a little bit? I feel like these are going to be worth quite a bit of money in the future. I don't know what to do.
The second one, and I'll tell you why. It's not like his auto. He does not sign often.
No.
So,
and there probably aren't a lot of his autos in this set, but you
him and the green M&M do not sign cards very often. And don't sign anything very often. I was watching the Golden Touch. We keep, I keep bringing this up for various reasons, but there was he signed a record for someone, and they were like really interested in getting it, and they made the point how little he signed. So if it was me, I would hold off, because at the end of the day, okay, if they don't go up in value, the packs, the unopened packs, then open them, right? Like at that point, because if you pull the auto, that auto is not going to go down in value because he signed so little. So I would hold off maybe a couple of months, wait till things dry up, see if the prices of the packs like quadruple or whatever, and then make a decision. Then you have to make a second decision to sell them or to then open them. But I think that decision will be easier to make in a couple of months, where now if you do it and you don't pull anything, you're going to be disappointed that maybe you lost out. That's how I would handle it.
My first question is, how much did you pay? What was it per pack?
I forget what they were. They weren't terribly expensive.
Like $100 or like
$20? No, they were under. Okay. They were definitely under 20, and I want to say they were like 10 to 15. It's been a while. I saw somebody like post that they got their shipment notification for them, and I was like, "Oh crap! I ordered something."
You totally forgot.
So I did. I totally forgot, because it had been a couple months at least that I ordered them.
That's
so
how you know you might have a problem right there, by the way.
That might be. I just didn't take the time to look it up, but I think they were between like think they were under 15 a piece.
Okay.
But
so in my opinion, I would open at least one. Maybe not for the channel, but I would just open one just because.
I
Like
gotta
you
do it for
ordered
the
it.
channel
Like,
if you're
oh, if I'm opening
but-
any, it's going to be on the channel because I think it's cool.
okay.
I
Is it?
just
But is
would
it like
to document that? So
is like a one card per pack deal, or are
Yeah.
there multiple cards? Okay, so that's what I was saying. Like I would. I mean, how much are those cards? Those packs might go up to. I mean, who knows? Maybe $100, something like that. You couldn't think they would go up to like crazy amounts of money, but so I would definitely hold a couple, but I would open at least one just because it is this new thing that you. Well, I mean, you're excited about it at one point, and obviously forgot about it. But I mean, you're excited about it at one point, and I mean, I'm a big fan of Eminem, so like I feel like. I would open. If it was me, I would open one and then maybe hold a couple of them, but I would at least open one.
See, but that's the problem. I was only going to open up a couple of boxes of Fleer Ultra Wolverine at the.
That's a
Airbnb.
different. Listen, you have a problem. That's a different.
No. I think all three of us are the same. I think if Mike opens up one, he's going to open all of them. I would. You would. Don't tell me you wouldn't, EP.
I don't know. I wouldn't even think about the holding them myself. Probably, I would probably just open all 5 and just be done with it.
Well, here's the thing: I forgot that I ordered these, and now they came. So, like, I am leaning toward opening them because, like, they didn't cost me a whole lot, so it would be fun to take a chance at maybe getting it. I'm out definitely less than $100. Like, like I have blown a lot more money on worse decisions. I can look up and see.
Can we put a link to that video up here?
So yeah,
it's like Mike gets heartburn every time he thinks about it. Just his reaction just now.
But let me know in the comments, what would you do? I do feel like these are going to be very valuable, and I feel like that. Like, I don't know if the 5,500 price is like going to be consistent with the autographs, but I do feel like that autograph will just continue to go up as these dry up, like over time. Right. 2 years from now, people are going to look back and go, "Oh, somebody only paid 5,500 for that." As long as he's not signing, and I don't think he's going to be signing, but maybe Topps will put something out and have him.
That's all. Like we'll talk about Topps quite a bit today, but that's a legitimate fear with a lot of stuff that Topps might take and just blow it out of the water because Ruben's friends with Eminem. So I do want to make a point that, well, first I guess a question on this: what would be the price per pack for you to be like, oh, I'm definitely selling them? Do you know what I mean? Like if they go to $100 a pack.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Like, because there are people, they have them on eBay. People are asking like $60, $75 a pack. I don't know. I didn't look to see if any were selling for that at this point in time. There was somebody had sold like 17 packs or something for like $80 a pack. They must have gotten them first. But yeah. But like at the same time, even if they're $100 a pack, okay, so I made what, $300 after fees?
Right, after fees and what you paid for them.
I'm not going to get rich on that. And it wasn't something I bought. I totally bought these intending to open them. There's a chance at autograph. Might as well, it's kind of like other things we're going to be talking about. It's a little lottery ticket to try to get something cool. So I am leaning toward opening them, but I feel like I need to decide soon because I want to if I'm going to do the video, I want to have the video
do it while they're out, right?
While they're relevant. So.
While they're hot. Well, and that's the thing too with like, I bought a box of Marvel Metal, right, to open for the channel. It was $325. Now they're selling, I guess, for like almost $500. I'd still like, because at the end of the day, you're thinking, well, how much profit is that really on one box, right? You sell it for 500 after fees, after we paid for it. One last thing before we go to the main topics. I do want to say it's funny you said Eminem, and both EP and I thought of the candy.
Very weird.
When you talk about rock cards, it always takes me a second for my mind to not think it's the rock you're talking about. And you say whatnot quite a bit.
All the time.
And I always think you're talking about whatnot. It's funny how our brains are kind of programmed. I always think you're talking about the app, so I don't know. Maybe not.
Every time I hear it now, even though whatnot's not been around that long, I just get the same thought. Oh, you mean like the app?
I say whatnot all the time. All the time.
Yep.
I've like tried to not say it, but it just comes out. So I'm me. You don't like me saying like, you don't like me saying whatnot. You're watching
And
the
don't
wrong
watch.
show.
Yep,
I can't.
yep.
Stay
I can't do
subscribed though.
anything about it.
Yeah,
Stay
don't unsubscribe.
subscribed,
Right.
but don't watch.
All right. Well, you know, we've alluded to it, so let's get into it. Topps announced they had this big marketing campaign, which consisted of like a meteor striking like a video. It was whatever. It was an attempt. But yeah, what the product was advertising, what it was hyping up. Topps is going to be making a new set called Mercury. And the first recipient of the Mercury set is going to be Victor Wembanyama. What a surprise. The Mercury set is going to be released, I guess, once per year, featuring one player every year. And Victor Wembanyama is the guy this year. You get 8 cards in a box, and they are going to retail. Well, the retail from Topps is $8,000 for 8 cards.
Yeah.
The secondary market, let's be real, it's probably going to be double that at least, right? That's at least $15,000 there. So if I bought these, I would maybe not open those. But yes, we have hit $1,000 a card. For this, it has a 1-of-1 logo autograph in it. It has a 1-of-1 card and a numbered out of 5 dual autograph of Wemby and LeBron. That also has dual autos with guys like Shaq, CJ Stroud, of course, because why wouldn't you? David Robinson, Tony Parker, some others there. Yeah. $1,000 a card. I mean, this is not our world, but we're going to talk about it because we have to talk about it. This is amazing in so many ways, good and bad. EP, I think I want to let you start this week because you're a big defender of Topps, and you know their products aren't going to be terribly expensive. I've heard you say things like this on the podcast many times,
pushing back on me quite a bit.
So I want to hear your thoughts about the $1,000 card, $8,000 a box, Topps Mercury Wembanyama set.
We've reached uncharted territory. Like Topps has never done anything like this. I mean, they do have some sets. Like there's some cards that are $1,000 a box. And they are some of the higher end stuff. We only get like 6-8 cards in one box or whatever kind of stuff. But then nothing like this. Not like this. This is something completely out of left field. And I saw this, like, of course they did. I mean, that's just where we are in the hobby right now. And it's Breaker's world, and we're not part of that world. We're still just the little collectors over here. But I feel like it's listen to the Mojo Breaks podcast. Those guys were talking about it. Of course, you have to take it with a grain of salt that they are trying to sell this stuff. I think they have some packs out there for $4,500 for just parts of the actual box, like not the actual whole box. So there's some they're really expensive. They're pushing it, but all of them admitted this is nothing they could afford to buy, nor would they buy it at $8,000 a box themselves. Obviously, this is a Breaker type product. It's not something for any of us. They did say that it was going to probably go up in value. They said this is like Mike alluded to. It's probably $20,000 on the secondary market. It's probably, I mean, who knows what it might go for. The argument is they're in the hobby the way that it is today. The RPA is considered the rookie card. The only way you're going to get an RPA of Victor Wembanyama, even though it's unlicensed, is through this product. And so their argument is there are a lot of people that are going to be chasing that. The people that are in the higher end of the market that are chasing the RPAs, like they're going to chase it. And I mean, it's setting a bad precedent for sure at $8,000. Like that's, I mean, because they've already committed to doing it every year. Like it's probably going to be $10,000 next year, right? And I think it's probably going to, they're focusing on like a young player who's going to be like, so the people are going to be, crazy to try to get it. So last year when I've been like CJ Stroud because of the remarkable season he had in the NFL. So I feel like they're going to go with that kind of person like Wembanyama this year. So buckle, as Joe likes to say, buckle up, strap in, boys. Like we're in for it. And I'll just throw it to him because I can tell by the disgust on his face that he's gonna have a lot of things to talk about.
There's a lot to talk about here.
So first thing is the idea that this is going to go for any less than 10,000 next year is hilarious.
Right.
Whenever they have the actual license, this is the unlicensed one. This is the unlicensed product. When they have the licenses, by the way, I wouldn't be shocked if there is a Victor Wembanyama Series 2 of this set when they have the licenses. Mark my words now. There will be a Series 2, and they'll call it the real RPA when they have the licenses. If you think I'm crazy, I've been right the entire time about this Fanatics stuff. Right. From day one to now, I've been 100% right. So it would not shock me if there is a Series 2 where they have all the players in their pro uniforms, not airbrushed. We'll talk about that in a little bit too. But the other thing is when you look at the I just had an EP moment because there's so much in my head about how much I hate this. Holy shit, I just lost it. I had it and I lost it.
You were so angry.
Oh, that's what it was. That's what it was. I'm getting back to it now. We need to stop saying tops, by the way. Every time we talk about these stories, we need to stop saying tops. This is not tops.
It's still
this is Fanatics. This is Fanatics doing this, though. They might be slapping the Tops logo on it. This is Michael Rubin's Fanatics putting out an $8,000 product. And you can't tell me when he looks at the secondary market, and I'll talk about this in another product, when he's looking at the secondary market and seeing it's probably going for 10, 12,000, there is no way that a product in the future is not going to go for that. Like, he is one of those people who does not want anyone else to make any money. He wants, hey, if I'm selling it for 8 and then someone else is selling it for 12, why should they get that money? I want that money. And he's going to sell it for whatever the secondary market sells it for. And guess what will happen? He'll put a $12,000 price tag. It'll go on the secondary market for 15. Then the next year, guess what will happen? Well, wait a minute. They'll pay 15 on the secondary market. I'm going to put 15 on it. And then guess what happens after that? It's absolutely ridiculous. And anyone who bitched and moaned about Panini all these years, you got to shut up at this point. You just have to. I mean,
because no way, because they started this. Like they're the reason why this is happening now, and it's continuing. I mean, yeah, I'm going to still continue on them. So no way.
So they started it, but Topps is coming in and continuing it, right, and make it worse. Like at a certain point, you have to say, well, then
you're going to say Panini's not that bad. Are you serious? Are you serious right now? You're going to say Panini's not that bad? Okay,
no,
all right.
That'd be a stupid thing to say. Too.
I don't think Panini has released $1,000 card product,
right?
So
no, Flawless isn't that expensive. Like that. Like this is a whole other stratosphere. And by the way, Panini started EP with licensed products.
Whoa, you clipped out there.
I'm sorry. I'll
it's okay
back.
For emphasis. That's okay.
They started this with licensed products, not unlicensed products. Mm-hmm. That's the difference. They're $1,000 a card now. They're going to be $1,500 a card next year.
My question is, I could see next year being Shohei Ohtani because they just signed him to an exclusive deal. But after that, you have to have a certain level of athlete to be able to sell. I don't think Tom Brady sells at this point though at that level. And like they're going to need like the Victor Wembanyama coming into the league, that is like he's the most highly touted probably since LeBron.
Oh yeah,
like
I agree.
So they don't come along every year. So they're going to do this every year. I feel like they're gonna have some releases where it's going to be like CJ Stroud, if he's part of it, it's like he's not dominating the league.
It could
not
be
that
Mahomes.
Wembanyama is either, but
it could be Mahomes maybe, because Mahomes has not autographed stuff in a while.
But he's been around so long. I don't know that. I question whether they're going to have players at that high enough of a popularity level for this set to be exciting for everybody every year. They made a big mistake not signing Caitlin Clark. Like one of their biggest mistakes ever was not signing her. I don't know what they didn't see or what they couldn't see with her, but they're 100% wrong if they didn't think she would have carryover into professional sports. And the one thing Panini did right was maybe Panini will copy this and do a Caitlin Clark at like $1,000 a card. Maybe $800 a card, a little cheap.
Right.
They probably should. What makes you wonder, like, when you're thinking about it in those terms, like if they were to get Upper Deck and or get the hockey license and get Bedard, that's probably the name of the kind of player like that is. But that's going to be like 2 years after Bedard, right? So that's a good point. So I mean, are they capitalizing on this right now at 8,000, and then maybe next year it's 4,000 because it's not quite the same kind of player? Is it possible that they would do that? Like,
if it's Shohei, like Mike is suggesting, no.
Shohei definitely. Oh yeah, yeah.
And that would be perfect timing.
Maybe 3 years.
Series 2, which I'm not even joking. Like
with the license at that point,
that would time out just about right. Yeah.
If he's as good as the assumption is, I don't watch basketball enough, but I know apparently he's fantastic, right?
Year,
So if he's that good, in 2 years when they have the Spurs license, the NBA license, you can't tell me that they're not going to do something like this with him fully licensed and basically crap on the products that they already sold for $8,000 for 8 cards. Like, that would not shock me in the least. And we didn't even talk about the fact that all these cards look like Upper Deck and Panini cards. Dan the Cardman did a great video on this. Other people have put some stuff on Instagram about it. These cards look like knockoffs. They have their own really good IP that they could have used. These cards look like Panini and Upper Deck knockoffs, like across the board. It's pretty bad. So, I mean, not licensed, basically look like Upper Deck cards or Panini cards, and they're going for $1,000 a card. This is ridiculous. Panini started EP. I 100% agree. This is worse, though. They've taken over the hobby and they've made it worse, as they've done with literally everything else they touch.
This is a test case for Topps, right? Like they're trying to get things to see if they can sell a product like this, and we'll see what happens. But they're going to sell a ton of it, right? It's definitely going to happen.
Oh yeah, no doubt this will be a very popular product, and the breakers will get a ton of it. I'm guessing they don't. Again, companies can get away with putting out whatever they want to because they know the breakers are going to buy it, and the breakers are going to buy it because they're going to make a lot of money on it. And I'm going to guess that probably a pretty big percentage of this product is being sold to the breakers. They are supposedly going to make it available on Topps.com, but like, really, at the end of the day, what part of the print run do you think is going to be made available to people to buy? Not much. People will buy them, but this is going to go to breakers, specifically Fanatics live breakers, and they're going to break it and they're going to make more money on it. And like we talk about all the time, they are going to favor people that break on their platform because they have a monetary investment in giving their product to those people, as opposed to people breaking anywhere else or just selling it or trying to sell it by the pack. Whatever way, they're not making any money on that. The Fanatics breakers, they're getting their cut out of what they're getting for it on there. So it's going to continue to be that way because they're going to make more money, and there's nothing anybody's going to do about that.
And what have I been saying since we found out Fanatics started getting into the breaking world? If you buy from any other breaker that isn't on the Fanatics platform, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. And I'm very curious to see how this product is broken. I'm guessing it's a hit draft or random hits, serial numbers. Because they can't do teams, obviously, because it's basically only one player. But yeah, that's...
Well, based on what Mojo Breaks guys were saying, I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but each individual card is wrapped in a pack.
Could be
inside.
packs,
Yeah.
too.
So they're like and they're labeled as base card, which you can get the like 1-of-1 autos and stuff out of that. But then the mem cards, the memorabilia cards, are also in their individual packs as well. So they're selling the individual packs. That's what the break is. So I'm pretty sure the Mojo Breaks guys said. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Mojo Breaks guys said that their memorabilia packs are selling for $4,500 per pack. So if you want to get into a break for one of the memorabilia packs, it's $4,500.
So, I mean, it's not as bad then. You get 8 packs. Oh, I didn't know you got 8 packs. I thought it was just one box. This is fantastic. This is great. This is sarcasm for people who can't see my face on the audio.
Yeah.
Remember, Mike, this is more a question for you, but do you remember when people were losing their mind that Exquisite Basketball was like $500 for a box or something like that? The LeBron Exquisite with Michael Jordan dual autos in it and stuff like that. The other point about this is, talk about watering down Wembanyama's autograph. Like, how many autos are getting pumped out of this product? Like it's watering down LeBron's autograph. Like, this is we talk about how it's an autograph world, and I have a ton behind me. I mean, I'm just as big of a villain as anyone, but it's just, you put so much out there. We make the joke that if everything, it doesn't apply as much now because Justin Herbert's not as good, but if everything's a Herbert, nothing's a Herbert kind of thing, everything's a Wembanyama here. I mean, it's going to be really interesting to see how many autos are pooled and to see if they become reasonably priced, because his lower end stuff, like a Bowman U autograph, maybe you can get for hardly anything now because no one's paying attention. They're shoving all this $8,000 a box stuff in our face. I don't know.
One of the things that I wouldn't do is check the prices of the base cards later. Like, I would love just to own one of the base cards. I'm not going to pay $100 for a freaking base card from any product, but it'd be cool to own. Like, if the base cards dropped to like $20 or something like that, I'd buy one just to have one, just because of this stupid moment in the hobby right now.
Yeah, I heard they have Patrick Stewart autographs in it too, Joe.
I'm in.
Shoot.
The Wemby Patrick Stewart dual.
The dual. Yeah. That checks out. I would be in.
They're both rookies of the year, right? They were both rookies of the year at one point.
Oh yeah, he crushed it in Dune. You know.
Well, the one really good thing about this product release is it makes some of Topps other products seem way cheaper by comparison. Motif Football, which you only get one pack. Terrible, right? You get what, 8 cards in one pack instead of 8 individual packs. You get 6 autographs. They sold for what, $750 direct on Topps.com, and the last 2 sales on eBay were $1,750 and $1,850. They're selling for over $1,500 a box by the case, but that seems cheap, right? One set is $8,000 for 8 cards. Even at the secondary market price, you're paying a quarter of the price for 8 cards of Motif Football.
Practically free. So I made the joke in our text thread about, Fanatics is playing chess. We're playing, everyone else is playing checkers, because maybe people aren't realizing how ridiculously expensive Motif is for what you get. I mean, to me, and we talked about this a little bit before the show, to me, this is worse for the hobby than the what's it called, Mercury, because this is a product that is in the range where people might buy it. Like real collectors might be like, oh, maybe I can spend $750 or $1,500 on the secondary market and actually try and buy it and get some of these cards, where it's either going to be breakers or super rich people are buying Mercury. This one makes me more nervous because, EP, you referred to this as a mid to high range product.
More high. That's definitely high.
But just going from your text, you said mid range, and if this is our mid range, that kind of makes me a little nervous. If this product, and beyond how expensive it is for what you get, I took some time and went through the TerraPeak listings on some of the cards you could sell from getting this. Let's see here. We've got Motif numbered to 49 Dante Hall autograph. Somehow made a set in 2023. $5.50 at auction. Michael Dean Perry out of 99. Don't even know who that is. $4.25. We've got Ozzie Newsome. There's a good one. So out of 49, you'd probably be happy to pull an Ozzie Newsome. $15.05. Drew Pearson, he doesn't sign anything ever, always. $17.49. I mean, the Stephen Davis, I love Stephen Davis. He was a mastodon. One of my my first ever fantasy football pick in that league. Why is he in this set? Everyone throws Panini under the bus for some of the random players they throw into boxes. And I've always said, again, if everything's a Herbert, nothing's a Herbert, you got to throw some of these. But people are like, oh, I love this checklist. It's so expansive. And they're throwing in some players you don't usually see every day. There's a reason you don't usually see these autographs in boxes every day. They're ridiculous and they're not worth crap. So you're selling a $750 product to collectors and they're pulling $15 cards out of it. It's absolutely ridiculous.
I mean, Topps has had those products like that, checklists like that for their autograph products before, but
at $750 a box.
Again, not at that price level. Like their high end stuff is like $500. That's for like museum. Like I mean, like pristine. Like there's some products that are up there. Topps pristine and
that's their low end product now. EP $500 a box is going to be low end for them.
I mean, no, they're still going to make Topps Big League and and the flagship, which I think is still going to be relatively reasonably priced. Compared to what I mean, I have a feeling that like Topps Chrome they're going to like jack up the prices of Topps Chrome and make that the mid-end product. It's like $500 a box. Like that is probably going to happen at this point. And but there's the like I have no Mike, I was having computer troubles at the last segment, and just to go back on their marketing thing, and like it is like you said, it was an attempt, but it is marketing. It's something we don't see people out there making commercials for card sets. They just don't do that. And so, I mean, this was a little bit of a commercial, a little bit of a, hey, like look forward to this kind of thing coming up. So it was kind of that. So in the same regard, though, as far as marketing, going back to what we're saying here, like you really at least an $8,000 product, these products like Motif, again, don't seem so bad. And so that they can raise the prices of the Chrome and stuff. And it is a really, I mean, from a business and a marketing perspective, that's brilliance on their part. From a collecting standpoint, it's terrible because it's we're going to be priced out of everything here.
I disagree that it's terrible, EP, because if you are a Stephen Davis collector for some reason, you can get his card for like $15 now because you open up a $750 to $1,500 box and you get players like Stephen Davis and Drew Pearson. You can you're going to sell them for cheap. So it's getting cards out into singles out into the market that otherwise wouldn't be there. But again, what is Dante Hall doing in a 2023 set? What is Drew Pearson?
Didn't Dante Hall just get in the Hall of Fame or something? Did he just, was that recent?
Are you defending some of their checklist choices?
I'm just saying there are a couple Hall of Famers. There are a couple Hall of Famers on there. That's all I was saying. Like if you're going to get some cheap Hall of Famers to add into your product, like he could probably be on the list. So that I'm not defending it. I'm just saying I could see
Stenerud.
He's in there. Yeah. Hall of Fame kicker.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, I'm not trying to defend it. Like I said, they've done it before.
Chuck Foreman. I don't know who that is. Craig Morton is in there.
Running back, yeah.
Tony Hill. I mean, wouldn't you be thrilled if you opened up a box and got Danny Amendola autograph? Oh, that'd be awesome. Like I could go on and on. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I will say again, this is unlicensed. So if it's $750 today, what's it going to be when they have those NFL licenses on it? I saw someone open up a box of composite, not to throw more gas on the fire. They open up a box of composite, which are going for what, $300 or $400 now in the secondary market. They got Jason Sehorn, Frank Gore, and Josh Cribbs. Those were their 3 autographs. Okay,
one of those is a Hall of Famer.
EP would have been happy with the Frank Gore, so.
Right? And Jason Sehorn too. I mean, like
he probably would have been less happy when he realized he still lost about $250 worth of value. When those 3 autos. But at least the Josh Cribbs, I will say, look good because the Browns don't have a logo. So that checks out. That's a great card to get.
They should do just all Browns. And then
all Browns.
Mercury, all Browns, $8,000 a box. Let's do it.
All Penn State, all Notre Dame. There you go. Whatever.
Wow. Okay, well, that is not the only way Topps is making money. They are also running lotteries more frequently, or Razzes, or whatever you want to call them. I mean, let's be real here. After the success of the USA basketball Olympic card, sold over 500,000 of those. Clearly, they are striking while the iron's hot. they are coming out with, that Steph Curry and Messi card where they're doing the nighty night thing, and because those two definitely belong on a card together. That makes complete sense. I see no problems with the two of them being on card. Also, Shohei Ohtani celebrating his 50 home run and 50 stolen bases after they changed the rules for pitchers trying to pick people off. And don't roll your eyes. I have stats to back that up. Bigger bases, all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
Do you know that the amount of steals the last 2 years have gone up 30% over the 2 previous years before they
definitely
changed it? I mean, it's clearly easier for players to steal bases now. So the 50 steals is probably more like 36 if you're really gonna prorate it.
Why has nobody else done it though? Then,
because they didn't play by the same rules that they're playing by now that made it easier. Like if they hit more home runs by moving the fence in 30 feet, like wouldn't that be a little different? Yeah. See, come on. There's no argument to be made there. The rules are different. It's easier to steal bases. There's no argument to have there. But I digress. They have a Shohei Ohtani 50-50 club inscription. So they are now selling lottery tickets. They're making people buy these cards with the lure of the one card that you can get out of it. Why are they even making $8,000 a box? $8,000 boxes when they could just do this. They don't have all the expenses. They don't have the middleman. Like they could just do this because people are buying into it. And I've seen a lot of the comments. Well, yeah, I know it's like a lottery, but hey, I'm gonna buy one anyway. They're $12 if you buy one card. Get them for $10 a piece if you buy 5. Get them for $9 a piece if you buy 10, or $8.50 a piece if you buy 20. And the Ohtani one probably going to get close to the Olympic basketball, I'm going to guess. But this is just crazy, isn't it?
Is that your neighbor, EP? Yeah. Tell her I said hi. But yeah, I mean, we made the comment when we were texting about this. Like, at what point do they just say, let's just keep making Topps Now cards? Why do we even bother with everything else? Which is kind of true. I mean, it's ridiculous. And this if they continue to do this, which why wouldn't they? This is the new junk wax, right? This is the new junk wax. Like, there are more cards produced like this than probably ever any other card ever, short of maybe flat. You would know better than IEP.
For a chance at one card,
maybe
one
two
card,
maybe two if there's like the other 101, right? The autograph 101 versus the the non-autograph version of it. But yeah, that's again. We had a dinner party here last night. A couple of folks came over, and as a gift, someone gave me a bottle of wine and a couple of lottery tickets. I'm like, it's like going to Topps website and just buying a couple of these. Why didn't you do that for me? You should have given me that.
Here we got you 5 Ohtani 55 Ohtani cards.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna hand out Joe Day cards like to everybody, like just one Joe Day card, because that's my takeaway for this whole thing is like there are gonna be so many of these base, because people are gonna be like, I gotta buy 20 of these to try to get a chance. There are gonna be so many of these base cards out there, like they're just gonna be lining 10-cent boxes across all the card shows you go to. There's gonna be just the same thing with the ones from the college USA basketball, Olympic basketball. Yeah, I mean the same thing. There's gonna be so many of these base cards out there because everybody's trying to chase this thing, and like I am not going to do it, but my brain thought to myself, I should probably buy a couple of those, see if I can get one, just because that's my brain thinking. As I've always loved like the 30-30 players, 40-40, 50-50. So that's always been something that I've really enjoyed in baseball, and so like. That is something I can't bring myself to actually pay that money though for that many of that base card, which I know, like I said, is going to add to my 10 cent box.
Right. Just wait until you are walking a card show in 3 months. You'll be able to pick them up for 50 cents at the most.
Sure, but I mean, no chance of getting the auto. Which my brain is like, oh, but I have a chance to get the auto.
You still have mathematically, you still have no chance of getting the auto.
Sure.
It's that, but it is that lottery mentality. I mean, we all see the people that go and buy lottery tickets all the time. Lottery is hugely successful, so it like evil, but it's brilliant in that, yeah, people's minds are trained for the lottery. Well, yeah, I know this is stupid, but hey, I'm going to get my chance at it because you never know. That's how, all these people that play the lottery that never win, and a lot of people get into a lot of financial problems because of the state-sponsored lotteries. Same thing with this. You got a lot of people that, with all these coming out so soon, buying hundreds and hundreds of them, thinking, okay, well, I've got a good chance to get this, and I can get a $50,000 card out of it, and they're not going to get it, and then this is going to add up over time. They're going to look at their credit card bill and be like, oh, shit.
Right. You made a really good point, just almost like a throwaway, Mike. State-sponsored, right? Because they have rules and regulations they have to follow. Some random person is going to win that lottery. I don't trust that a random person is going to get the 1-on-1. I don't. I refuse.
I don't either. Absolutely not.
I refuse to put my money out there when there is a non-zero chance that card has already been determined to go to a certain place. I just absolutely refuse to do that. And conspiracy theory or not, I don't care because I'm putting my money out there to do it. The other thing is, I don't think these Ohtani cards are benefiting senior Pennsylvanians. And that really is the reason that I play the lottery. So, if they're going to donate some money to senior Pennsylvanians, maybe I'll think about it.
You're doing a good thing.
Right, exactly.
So you don't want to donate to Fanatics and Michael?
No. Okay. I don't want to donate to his next white party. I don't.
So Little Victory is a guy that Joe and I have talked about before. He does card reveals, that sort of stuff, and he shows the stuff he buys at shows and everything. And he said in a video that I saw recently, I'm not sure, all the time kind of runs together, but he said a pretty good line was, he said, lotteries for people who don't understand math. He said that's like a saying, like if you understand math, you're not going to play the lottery because you have like the chances of winning are zero. You just keep you're throwing your money away. I play $1 every once in a while when the numbers get really high. If we're doing it at work, I'll throw money into a pool, but I'm not out there spending. There's a lot of people that spend $100 a day, $100 a day on the lottery, which I mean that's a
nice way he put it. A nice way to put it. I mean the standard line is the lottery is a tax on poor people. Or tax on dumb people, or however you want to phrase it, like, because it's always like trying to get that one thing, and that's exactly what's happening here. It's a tax on people who just really, really want to try and get that 101. They're not going to care less about any of the rest of the cards they pull, because they're not going to have any value. It's just I don't know. It's scary.
I still think they're really pushing their luck with this kind of stuff and regulate, especially when they own a gambling company. Like I this has to come up in some states when they're reviewing like whether or not Fanatics can have their gambling in their state. Like it just makes me, it's gambling. It's clearly gambling. Technically, maybe not, but at some point, I just think at some point the government's going to go, well, you're selling bets here, but you're also selling a chance to get one thing that's really valuable over here. That's gambling too, isn't it? And they're going to be like, I just feel like this hobby does so much. They're pushing that envelope so much closer and closer that they're going to end up being regulated because they just want to keep pushing that line as far as they can to try to make money.
Yeah, and it's like setting off a radar ping, like every time they do this, right? Like the Ohtani thing is like some regulator somewhere is like, are you guys seeing what's going on here? It's saying $8,000 a box for this stuff, like eight cards, $1,000 a card for this. Like, are you guys checking this out? And they're the only game in town. Like they are like pushing so close to the edge where there's going to be a hammer dropped on them. I'm willing to bet,
or not, because sometimes hammers just don't drop on rich people. I mean, it just. I'm sorry, that's just the case.
Unless you're P. Diddy. But and more Tops Now news.
Wow, P. Diddy rap? We hit a P. Diddy rap.
Shots fired.
Time of death, 11:41 a.m.
Anyway, I just saw something on Instagram or something. I don't. Tops Now has also been releasing the game moments for their football cards this year. They've released 4 so far. I believe Malik Neighbors, Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, and Xavier Worthy, I think was the other. And turns out that those game moment cards that you're going to be getting aren't actually from a moment in a game played in the NFL, but they're from moments played in games from their college careers. All 4 people have found the actual college photo that these cards have been photoshopped from. Come on, like you can't even take a picture of them playing and put it on the card. I don't know. I don't even know where to go with it.
Before EP embarrasses himself and says this, I'll say it first. There have been cards airbrushed forever, but they're not called game moment cards.
Yeah, they're not being sold as cards celebrating an achievement in a game by a player. Yes.
Exactly. That's why I said the first part first, EP, so you didn't say it, and then we jump on you, and it comes a whole thing. I said the EP before the pod started. I go, you're going to have to do your calisthenics to defend Fanatics and Tops today, because it is rough out there if you are a Tops fanboy. You are not, EP. We give you a lot of shit for it. You are not.
Totally not. Yeah.
But a legit, like, hardcore Jeff Wilson, Tops can do no wrong because I want to be on another card fanboy. They're probably defending this by saying airbrush is normal. Yeah, it is. Airbrush cards, reusing pictures of cards and just slapping on the pro uniform goes back to the 90s. The problem is those cards were never called moments in the game or game moments or whatever. They weren't specifically drawing out a specific moment in a specific game. Once you do that, you have to use a picture from that game. What are you doing?
These are also not being printed ahead of time to go into packs that have to go into boxes that have to get put on pallets and shipped out. These are just being printed. They're printing. Okay, how many do we need? Okay, we need 30,000. We're going to print them. There is no reason that these cards should be photoshopped. Period. End of discussion. I don't care how much you want to kiss Fanatics' ass. There is no reason for it. And even this guy is going to tell you the same thing.
Yep.
I don't remember what my exact reaction was in the text thread. I don't remember what I said, but I know that I chuckled, at least to myself, if not out loud, when I saw this. This might be, out of all the stuff that we've dealt with from Fanatics and from, through this whole thing, this to me might be the most egregious thing that they have done. As the Tom Brady card where they photoshopped his face on top of somebody else. But I mean, this one just feels like the laziest money grab they've ever done, in my opinion. You can't pay for a licensed effing photo that you Photoshop the logos off of from the actual game. Like, instead you have to take a photo that you already have in your archives and use that to make this card. You can't just take that one extra step and take it a photo from that game. It is completely ridiculous to me that they didn't do that. Like, how much does it cost to license one photograph? Probably it's probably not that expensive for one player. Are you kidding me? Like, this is,
I suspect they just have a license. I suspect they just have a license with Getty Images or something. Like, they wouldn't even have to pay, would they? Like,
I mean,
like if they have like a group license with like one of the photography companies.
I think maybe to republish it the way they do, they probably have to have maybe buy the license to that particular thing and maybe pay the artist. I'm not sure how it all works. I've never dealt with it, but I'm based on with what we do with the paper. I think they probably have to work out some sort of deal if they're going to make a mass publish something like a photo like this. But in any case, like either way, like, it can't cost. They're going to make so much freaking money off of it. Like, they can't just take that little extra step and then pay $1,000 or $10,000 even for it. The amount of money they're going to make is going to be way more than that. This is the laziest, most egregious thing they've done out of all the crap we've dealt with since they took over. And this one just aggravated me so much.
He's coming over, Mike.
I know.
Coming over.
I was just thinking, wow.
You guys,
I've never not been over. Yeah, I
love the passion.
Right down the middle.
Wow.
Right down the middle. My ass.
And just let me randomly throw out this one fact about unlicensed cards. The Walter Payton rookie says Bears on it, and the Joe Montana rookie says 49ers on it, and they can't do that nowadays. Just saying.
That's actually that reminds me of a really good point. I was watching some rips of Motif, as I am wont to do. I watch a lot of breaks of new products, right? And there was actually a Joe Montana card, clearly in a Chiefs uniform. Clearly, it was the Chiefs red and it had the yellow. It was clearly, you flipped it over, it said San Francisco on the back. It's like you couldn't use the unlicensed Tops picture from 1981 as the picture, which was clearly San Francisco on this card. You had to search for a Chiefs one at that point because he was only playing with the Chiefs for like 2 years. So they had to search for a Chiefs. I guarantee you someone just went to their computer, typed in Joe Montana, hit images, and saved the first one they saw. And then they were like, oh, well, he played for the 49ers. Let's put just San Francisco. So now you have people saying, well, the uniform of the card says Chiefs or shows Chiefs, but the card itself shows San Francisco. So the Breakers gave it to the San Francisco spot, but still, like, that's pretty egregious too. I mean, really, really dropping the ball and literally everything they're doing. So 25 years, everyone. Yeah.
You hope that it's not a situation where they don't have the football people in the right places to make these decisions. Like that might be part of it. And so I mean you worry about that too with them getting the license. Like you make sure you get some football people in there that can say, well, this is a Chiefs jersey, we can't use this when we need a 49ers
cost
jersey.
Money. EP, come on. You don't need those people.
And one other thing I wanted to add in is that when I went on my rant, I didn't talk about the fake cards part of it. Like I'm upset about fake cards and I don't like it without the logos, but then to take, like, it's not even like the photo from the game, like how, like you start to make it like extra fake, like you're adding fakeness to this already fake card.
There are
like,
different levels of fakeness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Wow. Well, let's talk about something other than Tops for a little bit. PSA updated their terms of service. I don't know if this has always been in there or if it's just been brought to light, but they do have terminology and some things in there about cracking out cards. First of all, the cert labels, if you crack a card, they say are the property of PSA and they need to be sent back to PSA. I'm sure nobody's doing that. Might be
people do. I will say there are people that
a lot of people aren't doing that. The other more interesting thing is if a card is removed from the PSA holder, that card may no longer qualify for PSA grading services, which is something people have long talked about. Like, if they're grading numbered cards, why are they regrading them when people crack them out? They should have a database. And it sounds like whether this is just in there to scare people, try to get them not do it, or if they're actually tracking, that's one thing, or if they're actually tracking, it is interesting that is specifically in the terms of service.
I really do enjoy that property of PSA thing. That's really interesting because to that point, you're screwing with the pop report, which is something a lot of people sell cards based on, right? Like EP, you just sold a card and you specifically mentioned it was like a pop 3, right? Yep. A lot of people put that into their listings. Well, if someone keeps trying to regrade the same handful of cards, the pop is not going to be accurately reflected. So I'm glad they're putting that in there. Now, to enforce that, how do you enforce? How are you enforcing that? There's no way to do it. But I do see people do crack and submit. The same thing with CGC Comics to get them off the census, get them off the pop report. So hopefully people do that. I think they're worried that if they do that, PSA will notice and be like, oh, they're sending in a lot of stuff to get regraded, so we're going to flag them, which is another possibility. So they might be concerned about that. As for the second part, I think with you, Mike, that it's probably just a scare tactic so people don't keep resubmitting the same cards. That being said, how do you enforce that with non-numbered cards, right? So downtowns and things like that. So it's very difficult to do that. But also, to play devil's advocate, we talk about this all the time, that grading is so subjective that, I'm sorry, the guy who graded that card, guy or gal who graded that card might have been wrong. They just might have been wrong. So it is absolutely, now PSA could counter and say, well, we have a review that you can send it for to have us look at it instead of cracking to see if that grader is wrong. I'm sorry, once it's in that PSA graded slab, PSA is not going to admit they made a mistake in most cases.
Never.
So the only way to get an accurate grade is to crack it and send it off to someone who might be a better grader or more accurate grader. I'm not saying they should always give you a grade bump, and I don't, I look at it this way: if Alico 3 thinks it's a 9, probably should be a 9, right? Like, so I understand what they're doing, but they also have to realize that their service is so subjective and graded by human beings that can make mistakes, that it should not be out of the realm of possibility that I think they're wrong, crack it and send it back to get an accurate, fresh set of eyes on it instead of a review.
Yeah, I'm going to be parroting Joe on some of this stuff because he nailed it. All those points are pretty much what I was thinking. But yeah, like I feel like if you send a card in to get a grade, like I was trying to think of an analogy of something similar where like it's going to be very, very difficult. It's almost like a pass interference penalty or whatever. Like there has to or like a overturning a play in football.
Right,
like they need to see that and say, obviously this person was obviously wrong. Otherwise, they're going to side with whatever the grade already is there. I mean, that's a good
analogy.
Yeah, so I mean, so it's going to be so difficult. So this is a very interesting topic. This is really weird. So the whole point where the property of PSA, which sure, I mean that is that's their label. They created it, their slab. But like Joe said, there's so much subjectivity in the grading part of it that like. Not being like they're trying to not allow people to crack cards out is what I take this that's what this whole thing is about. But in the same regard, if you want to get an accurate grade, if you think your card is undergraded horribly and you want an accurate grade, you have to be able to crack it out. So it's a very like there's some gray area here that's kind of weird. And then, Mike, to your one question about I guarantee you when they were drafting this or writing it up or whatever, there was somebody who probably said, hey, I mean, how are we going to enforce this? Like, don't worry about it. We're not going to worry about that. That costs money. We're not going to do that. We're just putting it in the terms of service. I do agree with that part of it. So, yeah.
And they're making money when you crack them and resend them anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So if you get twice as much money for the same card, and like the counter to their counter, Joe, would be, yeah, but I want to crack it out so I can see it outside of the case, so I can review it to see if I agree with what your grade was. Because guess what? We have every right to decide if we agree with the grade that they get. It's our card. And some of us have been doing this a long time.
Longer than the person grading it.
Longer than the person grading it. So if I think a card wasn't that, and I decide I want to crack it out and give it another good look over everything, and think maybe I didn't look at this, maybe I missed something, and I go over it again, I'm like, I don't see anything here. That's my right. That's my opinion. I might not be paid by PSA, but I feel like I'm pretty good at grading cards. EP, you have very good success too. Like we've done this. Grading cards is not rocket science. This is not the hardest thing in the world to do. You can learn how to do it. They pay people to do it, but we know how to look at our own cards too. So if I disagree and I want to resend it, I should have every right to do that. I think this is all just BS to have it in
it's
writing,
legal BS, right?
Just in case some situation would come up where, they graded something numbered out of 5, a 4. And then the person cracked it and sent it back in and got a 10. And then they post it on social media. And people are like, oh, but they did that as a 4. This is to cover their butt in those cases. Like it just, it beats.
You made a really good point about looking outside of the case, because again, I've beat the drum on this so many times about PSA sending your cards back in those VD sleeves that scuff up your cases, right? So it's hard to look at that card to give it a second look without taking it out of the slab. I mean, and it would be hard for them. That's why the crossover success rate, when people send a BGS slab instead of cracking it, sending another company's slab, because the PSA will say, oh, we don't want to take responsibility because we can't perfectly see the card in the slab. So they just send the card back. I mean, it's very difficult to get an accurate a reflection of the card there.
You're just a quick comment on Joe's one interjection when Mike was talking at one point. When he said about the card graders, how many of those card graders do we think have not been alive as long as we have collected cards?
Most.
There's a lot of them, right? There's a lot of them.
Because they've hired so many new people,
right?
And those people just aren't out there. People with 30 years grading experience, they're just not out there. They're very select few people. So most of the new people they've hired are new to doing this. So, and they're probably younger people because they're not paying
Nothing
that
against
much
young
money.
people. Nothing against young people at all.
No, but
saying,
it's just
like,
yeah, they're more entry level jobs. Sadly, that's kind
The
of
most
an entry level
important job. The most important job for a grading company is the entry level job. Wrap your heads around that. And I am famously the youngest person on this panel. I've been collecting cards now for about 32 years. It would not shock me, EP, if the vast majority of the graders are younger than the time that I've been collecting cards.
Mhm,
Like,
absolutely.
it's wild to put in that perspective.
And they do have experienced graders there,
Yes.
and they do look at the higher dollar stuff. And
Yes,
you know,
yes.
And
like,
in general,
we're not
That's
saying
not the
that
majority of
everybody
the cards.
there.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
in
Everybody
general,
looking
they're-
at that pack pooled new card, they're probably somebody
Right.
just starting off doing
Yeah.
it. Sorry, Pete, cut you off there.
I was just saying that in general, I feel like PSA, even I think Elite Co and Little Victories even say this too. Like in general, they do a pretty good job of getting the grades right.
Yeah.
They have a few that they get wrong, but in general, they're all pretty good. So I mean, we're not crapping on young people or young graders. Just in general, saying we've been doing this a long time, and they're just we're old. That's it.
That's it.
We're old.
We are old. Yeah. Okay. I just have a couple quick hitters here we're going to end up with. Did you guys see that? You remember they sold the Caitlin Clark Panini Instant card? It was her first official WNBA card.
Are we
They
sure
sold-
she was not in an Iowa uniform? I'm
Well,
no, that's
I
Fanatics,
feel like
sorry.
it was a draft night one, though, that she was
okay.
actually.
Okay.
That could have been photoshopped. Who knows? But anyway, they sold a Blue Viper 1-of-1 autograph when they had sold those, and the person who bought it for $10,000. They recently sold the card for $84,000.
What?
$84,000.
Wow.
So just another example of the power of Caitlin Clark and the popularity of her in this hobby. That card in that short a period of time, a few months, went from Panini selling it for $10,000 to somebody paying $84,000. The highest priced, obviously, WNBA card ever, and probably until her Prism card comes out in the 101
Right.
out of that. But like, yeah, how about that?
And that's crazy. I mean,
that's
she
crazy.
had an amazing season. I mean, I think she broke a bunch of records. And didn't she break like the assists record? Like
Yeah.
the actual assist record for the entire league, not just a rookie record, like the actual record, like just
Yeah.
a crazy season. I think she started a little bit slow, but I mean, she ended up being this amazing player, and like, her effect on ticket sales and in excitement in that sport, like she is. I mean, it's a reach, it's a stretch, but she is kind of like what Michael Jordan was to the NBA in like the 80s, and like kind of like she kind of maybe this driving force to really kind of turn the WNBA into something. The price still seems like it's outrageous. Like it's probably person probably overpaid. But if they try to resell it again
Never know.
in 5 years, you never know. But like that's, I mean, yeah, I that's awesome. I love it. I'm glad that Caitlin Clark is doing what she's doing in WNBA, and I'm glad this person ended up making out on their autograph card.
And keep in mind too, the Fever started off terribly,
Mhm.
and she started getting into a groove. They went 20-20. I just looked it up. I didn't know that.
I made the
off top of my head,
playoffs.
and they made the playoffs, the 6th seed out of 8 teams, I believe.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, she's already making an impact her rookie year. And that card, EPI, once that Prism card comes out, someone's going to regret buying that card for $84,000 is my guess. But yeah, it's yeah.
And I have one other little thing here. You know, we make fun of some of the YouTube sports card personalities every now and then, but we might make fun of this a little bit, but we're not really going to make fun of it because Leaf is putting out a Card Collector 2 card. And the reason I'm not going to make fun of it is because all the proceeds are going to the Nationwide Children's Hospital. So while the situation on his own, having a YouTube sports card collector have a card and signing autographs and stuff would normally be something we might just poke a little bit of fun at. This is for a good cause, and I applaud him for doing it this way. Like he's very popular with the kids, like regardless of what old people like us might like to poke a little fun at stuff. He's hugely popular with the kids, and this is fantastic. I would like to see other people maybe that are involved in the hobby that have the ability to do some good. But I huge shout out to Ryan Card Collector too, because this is
He's a friend of the
really
channel. He
cool
watches
thing.
the channel.
Watches all the time.
Yeah.
Like he totally knows who we are, who these old guys are that mention his name and act like they know him. Yeah, and shout out to Leaf too, because this is great. All proceeds, from what I've read, all proceeds are going.
Remember when they did
portion,
remember when they did the Damar Hamlin? And it was like some proceeds, and no one knew what some meant.
Exactly.
It was like, ooh, that's not great. It is, I mean, we poke fun, and his content is not for us. It just, I mean, it's not.
But it's not made for us either.
But it's not made for us either, right? So it's nice. It is an unlicensed card, which I'm not sure about that.
Yeah,
I will say,
EP's out.
I will say, I want to give a big shout out to Leaf specifically, because quite frankly, this is something Fanatics should be doing.
Imagine they could do a Tops Now card.
They could do a Tops Now card and sell that. He's already been in their big league, whatever it was. Why not make a version of that card or whatever where all the proceeds, you know why? Michael Rubin likes money. That's might be the problem.
Those white parties don't pay for themselves.
They do not. They do not.
My take on this first part about this is make fun of us, please. Like that's what this is all about, right? Like, I mean, like some of us open up, some of us open up like really expensive Prism WWE cards that they probably shouldn't open. Some people really buy a lot of Patrick Stewart autographs that they probably shouldn't buy. Some of us will probably spend $500-$600 on 1990 Upper Deck. Find the Reggie packs instead of just actually buying the card itself, just because that's what we do. That's what this hobby's all about. But I mean, this is like you said, like I adore this. Like I like, for as much as we mock other content creators and we make fun of the people that get on the cards, like this is an amazing thing.
Fun, though.
Like, well, yeah, for sure. Like if listen, if people came up to us and said, "What do you guys want to be on a card?" We'd be like, "Yes." Put us on a card, please.
Oh yeah, for sure.
100%.
I'm not.
Okay, whatever.
It'd be like a silhouette, like an empty. EP and I on each side, empty silhouette in the middle. That'd be hilarious.
But to be able to do it in this way, like I think all of us would agree that the American Cancer Society, Diabetes Association, any of these causes like that, that's an amazing thing to be able to do this, and to get a company that's going to be doing the publishing part of it to agree to put all the proceeds toward that, like that's an amazing thing. I mean,
and I really hope I'm not going to buy them. We're not going to buy them. Right. I mean, maybe you guys are. I really don't know. But
I might buy one.
But I'm not going to buy them. But I will say it would be kind of embarrassing if they sell like 20. Like I hope people buy them. I hope.
Yeah, they're gonna. Yeah, I mean,
I hope so. Like I hope the folks that follow him go and buy multiple versions of this card for a good cause. Like it would be embarrassing otherwise, and it would be a sad state of affairs that people who support him, who watch him, wouldn't go out and buy his cards to then help a charity. I mean, hopefully it does well.
Michael Rubin, balls in your court.
It really is. Like that's, you might be joking, but that's God's honest truth. I mean, if they're going to be all about profit, we talked about it all episode. They're all about profit. Do something like this, and it's kind of embarrassing that you didn't do it first.
I think maybe an $8,000 a box Mike's retro trading card set might be in order.
All to charity. All to charity.
So much of it.
Because our subscribers are definitely in that market.
Totally.
Yeah.
All right, guys. That was a good chat this week, and I will see you next week. Take care, guys.
See you, boys.
Adios.